My background is actually in special education. I have 4 kids. This is a big part of our home. I wanted to share a little bit more about myself, Q&A style. My name is Jenny. I'm a mom and I'm also a sourdough instructor. I teach online courses as well as in-person courses. After I had my first child, I saw some digestive issues that were just coming to a head for myself and that were impacting my baby. So I finally met with a nutrition therapy practitioner, and she recommended going on a special diet, following a traditional diet, like what our ancestors, great-great-great-grandma, the way she used to cook. And when it comes to grains should always be soaked, fermented, or sprouted in order for optimum digestibility. And so I learned about sourdough. I started baking for my family, began baking more and more for others, and had so many people who coming wanting to learn from me that I finally decided to offer to teach my friends. Started teaching at public gatherings and having public events, public classes, and was able to have the opportunity to go to sourdough school in England, which was incredible. Vanessa Kimball, so knowledgeable, and was able to learn the why behind the what. And from that point forward, just continuing to teach classes, and I had the opportunity to write 2 books, which was amazing. But my passion is really teaching students. My background is actually in special education, working with special needs populations, with people with autism and other difficulties, even in a juvenile rehabilitation center, and just learn about how to teach people differently, how to teach people when there are boundaries in the way, when there's obstacles to learning, no matter what it is. And so that's my background, and that's what I take with me into this practice of teaching you sourdough, is being able to try to show as much information in as many ways as I possibly can. And then ultimately, really the way that you are going to learn on the other end is for you to do it. So I hope I can offer that encouragement as well as the knowledge, because I can't do that for you. And actually doing it, the hands-on part, is what crystallizes your knowledge and allows you to become skilled in something. I grew up and I had digestive issues all the time. I was constantly taking Tums or Pepto-Bismol, especially after pizza. Pizza was the main culprit, where it was just so many things at once: the acid, the dairy, the dough. And finally, that came to a head after I had my baby, and I was sick of being prescribed medicine. So that's when I went to figure out what is the root cause of this, and that's what led me to sourdough and learning about how we use our food at home, how we process it, how we make it digestible, and about healing the gut. And so for me, sourdough is something that even though I'm sensitive to gluten, I am not celiac. Disclaimer, I do not recommend sourdough, traditional sourdough, for people who have celiac disease. But for someone like me who is sensitive to gluten, sourdough works really well. This was something that I really became passionate about after my son was having a huge resurgence in his eczema, and I started introducing sourdough, and he was able to eat it, and his eczema continued to go unabated. He didn't have any regression, and so he still is my biggest fan of my sourdough bread. But that is why I believe so strongly in sourdough, because it's something that is nourishing and something that nourishes our family and brings us joy. There's just so many facets to it that I love. Something that inspired me early on with this business model was the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000. And as I was studying my Bible, I just saw so many references to bread and wheat and that process of sifting. And I really carry that with me, that idea, that spreading, that multiplication that we do through sharing bread. And I believe that also has the spiritual implications of sharing Jesus, sharing that good news with others, has a multiplying effect, and it goes down and nourishes people deep in their soul in a way that bread can't. But even bread, when you share it with people, share it with your family, share it with your friends, your community, your neighbors, it stirs something in them, and I believe it spreads just a feeling of peace and joy among communities. And then that joy is spread as more people learn and share the knowledge, and it just becomes this exponential effect of sourdough. I have 4 kids. At the time of this recording, one is just a few months old, and then the other 3 but their birthdays are coming up, so they're almost 3, almost 7, almost 9. And I also homeschool them, so that's the perspective I come to you with, is that I have to fit sourdough into a busy lifestyle, but also it's something that we depend on for our family. My kids they love having bread at breakfast, at different meals. So this is a big part of our home, but I found ways to make it work, even though it seems so busy and chaotic with our family lifestyle. Well, my favorite bread, ironically, since this is the bread that caused me so much digestive difficulty when I was a kid, but it's pizza. I love pizza. I mean, there's lots of breads I love, but pizza, I don't know if you want to consider it bread. I do. The basis is bread. But I love pizza. That is my absolute favorite. If you want to be technical on me, if it's a sweet, it's going to be cinnamon rolls or the cinnamon twist bread. I love anything cinnamon. Not a big fan of chocolate, but I love cinnamon. And then as far as like a regular bread, I love a whole wheat, or especially a whole wheat when it has some milk in it, just that soft sandwich bread. I love that. I hope that it helped you get to know me and connect on a few different levels. Let me know in the comments about yourself. What's been your sourdough journey? What's been your experience with sourdough? Do you like sourdough? And do you have kids? Do you find it intimidating with kids, or maybe you are a big sourdough? And how do you work that into your family schedule? All right, I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching this video.